Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Today we will learn in this short video if statements in Python. We will learn the if statement, the elif statement, the else statements, and the nested if statements. In order to do this, we will use Jupyter Notebook. Here we have in this Jupyter Notebook an empty cell. At least there will be one empty cell in any Jupyter Notebook. So for example, let us use this statement. Let us just print hello, and that will print hello. In order to execute this one, either we use Shift plus Enter, or we can use the run button over here. So for example, hello2, if I click on run, it will execute this one using this button. If I want to delete it, I can use this scissor button from here. That will delete the statement. For example, I want to print welcome to Python. I can add another statement. Print, for example, we will learn if statements. Now if I click on run, it will print both of these lines. And if I want to add another cell, I can click on this plus. If I want to delete it, I will use the scissor, and so on. Here in Jupyter, you can use the kernel. In order to do this, let us assume that we have a variable called 1, and before that I want to add another statement, print a, for example. If I call a now, I will have an error because a is not defined. I defined it here, but I didn't run it yet. But if I run this statement, then I go back to this statement. Now a is stored in the kernel with the value 1. So if I run this statement, we will have the value of a, which is 1. Alright, let us start again and go toward if statements. In order to use if statement, we will use the keyword if. Then we will have either true or false value. According to that, we will check whether to do the statement after that or not. But before that, let us have, for example, assume that you have your mark, and let us say that your mark is 90. So M stands for mark. I want to check if your mark is greater than 50. I want to say that you are pass. That's it. So in this case, M is greater than 90. So we will see that this condition is true. Therefore, we shall print pass. Alright. If I change the value of M to be 50, or let us say 40, and then run this code, it will not show anything because the condition is not true. So the if statement structure is just like this. We have the if, and it shall be in small letter since Python is case sensitive. Then we will have the condition that I want to check. In this case, I want to check if the mark is greater than 50, and we have the colon. After the colon, you will have the statements that you will do after an indent of 4 spaces, and you can make it 5 spaces, 6 spaces, or even, let us say, 2 spaces. It's okay. All of these are alright, but you have to stick with the number of spaces you are using. So for example, I want to add another statement, print congratulations, for example. So here I will have pass and congratulation because both of these statements belong to this if statement, and both having the same indent. But if I'm using, for example, here 3 spaces and here 2 spaces, I will have an error, and that is unindented does not match any outer indentation level. So in order to fix this, we will have the same number of spaces, but it's better to use 4 spaces since it is the convention in Python. Alright, so here we have 2 statements belong to the if statement. If this one is having no indent at all, therefore, yes, in this case we will print pass and congratulation, but in case that the mark is less than 50 and the condition is false, so this one is not going to be printed, but this one will be printed because this one is outside the if statement. So here this one will be printed whatever we have in this one. So run, we will have congratulations. But actually what I want to say that I want it to be pass and congratulations. But what if I want to do and to print something for you if it is not true? So we will use now something called else. For the else, you can add any statements, and the same, it have a colon, and after the colon you should use the same indent, and we will follow the 4 spaces. And let us say that I want to print fail. So here in this case 40 is not greater than 50, so this one will not be executed, or this one. The one that will be executed is for the else, which is fail. So here if I print, I will have fail in the output. So if I want to add another statement for the else, I will click enter and make sure that I will have this indent again, and I will print, for example, hard luck, and we will run, and then we will have both of these statements, fail and hard luck. Now if I add another statement with no indent, this line will be printed in all cases. So this one don't belong to the else or to the if statements. So if m is equal 40, then we will have fail, hard luck. This line will be printed in all cases. And if m is greater than 50, let us say 70, then we will have pass, congratulations, and again this line will be printed in all cases. Alright, in this example we show that we can do a certain thing if the condition is true, and another thing if the condition is false. But what if we don't have only two options? Like I want to check here in this example, I check either pass or fail. What if I want to check if the mark is between 90 and 100 and he will get A, and if it is in 80s he will get B, and if it is between 70 and 80 I want it to be C, and so on. So here we have different conditions. Therefore we will use the if else, and in order to do this I want to check the mark. For example, let us say that your mark is 65. Now I want to print if the mark is greater than 90, then the mark is A. So I want to just print A. Now I will use elif. Elif means else. So if this condition is not true, I want to check another condition, and in this condition I will use else. If m is greater than 80, then I want to print B. This condition, the statement, will be printed only if it is greater than 80 and it is not greater than 90. So those in the 80s will get B. Let's go and check what we will have for the C. Else if m is greater than 70, I want to print C in this case. Alright, so the next step is to check if it is greater than 60. Don't forget the colon, enter, and the same indent, we will use it, and I will print in this case D. Otherwise, if it is not greater than 60, then it is below 60. That means it is a fail mark. So I will use else, and after else we don't have a condition like the if or the elif. So else I want to print, for example, F. Alright, so here in this case, assume that the mark is 65. We will have the output D because it is not greater than 90. So I will go to the second one. Is it greater than 80? No. I will check the second one. Is it greater than 70? No. I will check the second, and yes, here it is greater than 60. So if the mark is greater than 60, print D and then finish this statements. So we have D. And now we reach the end of our short video session introducing the if else elif statements. Hope you enjoy this video, and stay tuned for other videos related to programming in Python language. Happy coding!